Hi, welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today we decided to make biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and I thought I'd show you how I do mine. I've had several requests for this since actually I started this YouTube channel, and I thought today is the perfect day to share with you how I make mine. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did is I cut up one onion here. It's a yellow onion, and just bite-sized pieces. And then I have 6 patties, so this is about 7 ounces probably of ground pork sausage, and use whatever brand that you like. One of the things that I do for my sausage is I like to kind of tenderize it before I start using it. I have found that it makes the sausage much softer to eat in my biscuits and gravy, and I like the texture better. So I thought I'd show you first how I do that. What I do is I just drizzle a little bit of water, and I'm talking maybe a teaspoon over my meat. And then I take just like a pinch. This is probably maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. And you wouldn't think that this would help, but it does. So before I get started on anything else, this is what I do. And it just really helps the texture of your sausage when you're cooking. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn my pan on. I'm going to turn it on medium to start with to start heating up. I like using cast iron for biscuits and gravy, but by all means feel free to use like a stainless steel pan as well. It would work just fine. So let's go over the ingredients that we have for this dish. What I do is my main ingredients are, of course, the onion. The star of the show is, of course, your pork sausage, flour, a little butter. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of whole milk. I am really not a cook when I'm cooking on the stove or cooking like meats in the oven and stuff. I don't measure everything. I'm a cook that goes a lot by sight and feel. So, but I thought today I'd go ahead and measure this, and we'll see where we're at. I'm starting with 2 cups, but I do have my milk here in case I need more. I add a little additional sage. This ground breakfast sausage is just regular. It doesn't have a lot of heat to it. It does have some seasonings. We like a little bit of additional sage in ours, so we do that. A little bit of extra thyme and a little bit of marjoram. Another thing that would work would be poultry seasoning in your pork sausage. We also add a little bit more of the crushed red pepper flakes, or you can use cayenne pepper, whichever one you like. If we go with the hot sausage at the store, it tends to be a little too spicy for us, so that's why we go ahead and do what we like in our sausage. Just remember, it's your kitchen. You know what your family likes, and go with it. And then sometimes I add a little bit of kitchen bouquet, and when I say little, I mean just a smidgen. Or sometimes I'll add Worcestershire sauce. But again, use what you like. You could even put hot pepper sauce in this. So I'm going to go ahead and let this set for about 5 minutes, and then I'll be back, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Well, it's been about 5 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and put this in our pan. I did turn my pan down to low right now because it's pretty hot. So you can hear it.
Yes, it's hot, real hot.
Actually, I can turn it back up a little bit. It was getting pretty hot, so I thought I better turn that down. There we go. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to get this to be covered on the bottom of the pan. When I make my biscuits and gravy, one of the keys to mine, I really truly believe, is the browning of my sausage and my onion and then my flour. And I always add a little butter to it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add, this is 1 medium yellow onion. And let's see how we're doing.
Smells good already, Miss Flo.
Yeah. So I'm going to let this continue to cook here for a little bit, and oh, you can already smell the onion going here. So I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll continue on. Well, this has been going about a minute, and I don't know about you guys, but I have found through the years here that our pork has become a lot more lean, which is fine. But when you're cooking something like this, you're going to need to add some additional fat. So I went ahead and put in a shy 2 tablespoons of butter here. It's not quite, but it's close. And I'm going to let that melt into here and start to help this. Once the sausage, where you cannot see the pink anymore, I'm going to go ahead and start to add the flour in. And what we're going to be doing when we do that is we're going to be making a roux. So I'll be back in just a couple of minutes and we'll start in on that. Well, our sausage here, you can tell the pink is almost gone. It's only been a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of my herbs. This is marjoram. I'm just going to sprinkle a little in lightly. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take away.
What's that one,
And
Miss Flo?
that's maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of thyme. And I rub that in my hand to waken it up. And a little bit of sage, not much.
The smell woke Lucy, the dog, up. She's in here now.
Well, she loves.
She loves this biscuits and gravy.
Well, she can't have.
In fact, all our kids do, and all their friends do. That's what they request when they come here.
This is red pepper flakes I just shook in, and it's probably, just a tad, maybe a 1/16 of a teaspoon. And that's what I start with. Why I did put those in right now is I want those to waken up and blend into this sausage before I start in on everything else. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more butter. So by the time it's all said and done, we've got about 1/4 cup of butter in here. Well, it does smell good.
It does. It's hard to sit here.
So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my stove up to a 5 right now because I want to brown this. This is just all-purpose flour. And I'm probably going to start off with like 3 tablespoons of this. May add a little bit more. Let's see how it goes here.
Only good so far.
The goal here is you want this flour to brown really well. It's going to add a lot of flavor to your gravy. And I know some people remove their sausage and their onion and everything before they put their flour in and make the roux. I don't do that. I find that by doing it this way, it's going to add a lot more flavor to everything because the flour is getting mixed into your sausage and your onions right now and your spices, and it's getting happy and combining like a happy family. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to let this brown a little. I may have to add a little bit more butter, or might add a little bit more flour. Again, I'm one that cooks by sight and smell, but anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit and we'll continue on. Well, our sausage, I can smell this and I know that it's browning. Can you hear how it's starting to crackle and pop?
Yes.
That's an indication as well that you are going to have some browning here. So let's go ahead and flip it and see what it looks like. Look at that. And that's what you want. That's going to give you some good flavor. This is your friend. So I'm going to continue to let this brown just a little bit more, and you're going to have one of the most delicious gravies for sausage and gravy that you've ever had. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, it's been still, snapping and crackling here. Let's see what, oh, look at that, you guys.
Good.
This is going to be delicious. This is exactly what you want. When you're making something like this, don't rush it because this adds so much flavor. So now we're ready to add the milk. Now this is a 2-cup measuring cup, and I got 2 cups in here. So I'm going to add this slowly. You're going to hear it sizzling. Hear that?
Oh yeah.
And what I do is to start with, is I just cover the bottom of the pan with the milk. There we go. So that's about 3/4 of a cup I put in there so far. And I'm going to stir this. And as we stir this, we're going to see this start to thicken. And that's what you want. Now if you wanted more gravy with this, by all means you could have added more butter and more flour, and you could stretch this. Now when I have more people here for breakfast than we have just Richard and I here, I would be making a full pound of this sausage, but it's just the 2 of us, and this is going to be plenty for a couple of meals actually. So I'm going to go ahead and see how it's starting to boil.
Yes.
And simmer. I'm going to go ahead and add some more of this whole milk into there. And every family seems to have their own recipe for biscuits and gravy, and I'd love to hear how you guys make yours. So if you would like to share, please by all means do. And if you make this, let me know how it is. If it worked for you and if your family likes it.
You'll definitely enjoy it.
Sure smells good. Let's add some more milk.
It's a family favorite.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
So I'm going to continue to let this cook here for a little bit, and we'll be back, and we'll of course sample it, and then after we get all of our seasonings in here, it's going to have to simmer for a bit. Well, here, look at this, you guys. It's bubbling away. I did turn it up to about an 8 right now, and I have another 1/2 cup of milk in here. One of the reasons I'm doing the additional is because I like my gravy to be a little thin right now. It's going to be cooking here for a good 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to simmer and get all those flavors happy together. So I add a little bit more because otherwise it's going to be too thick at the end. So it's been 2.5 cups of milk that we've added to this. And then the last ingredient I'm going to add is a little bit of nutmeg, just ground nutmeg. Nutmeg goes really well with any kind of a cream sauce. And actually nutmeg is in poultry seasoning most of the time. So, and that was just a dash, as you can tell. But this will really, bring all of this together. I'm going to sample it a little bit here. I already sampled it once, and we'll see what these flavors taste like. Very good. I don't think we'll need to add any more seasonings at all. It's
That's good.
It's very good. Possibly kitchen bouquet at the very tail end. We'll see how it is, but so far it's just really good. So I'm going to turn this down to low. I've got my oven preheated to 475 degrees, and I'll be right back. I'm going to get my biscuits and show you what they look like before I put them in the oven. Well, my gravy, I'm going to show you, is getting pretty thick still. So I'm going to add a little bit more milk. I've got another, just shy 1/2 cup. So let's see what this is like. I'm going to go ahead and just add the rest. So now we've got about 3 cups of milk in here. My burner's, turned down to low. I'm going to go ahead and put my spatula right over there, put my lid on it, and this is going to just simmer on low while I have my biscuits cooking, and this needs to simmer anyway so all those flavors get together. But these are the biscuits I had made prior to doing the gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in a 450 degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. So these will be ready about the time that this is. We'll see you back in a little while. Well, these are our biscuits that we just took out of the oven. I made these up ahead of time, just before we started the sausage gravy segment. And this particular recipe, you cook at 475 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. And this morning, these took 10 minutes. But I just wanted to show them to you. And we'll go back on over to the gravy and we'll see what that looks like. Well, it's been about 12, 15 minutes that this has been simmering away here. Oh, it smells delicious.
Looks good, it smells good.
Let's see what it's gonna be like. Oh yeah. That's perfect consistency. See how that is?
Oh yeah.
Smells really good. Now, I'm gonna sample this just to see that, make sure our seasonings are right, if I need to add anything. I'm going to get a little bit of the sausage in with it too, along with the gravy. There.
Don't burn your lips.
I think I can add a little bit of salt to this, not much. And I'm going to add just a little bit of kitchen bouquet. And when I say little, I mean little. This stuff is pretty overpowering, and see, that's way too much. So what I do is I pour that off my spoon. So I just have what's covering that spoon.
Right.
So it's like a smidge. And I'm probably not even going to put all that in. What this does is it just adds a umami flavor to it that only this can do.
Must be pretty concentrated.
It is. It's very concentrated. I think I'll add the rest. And I can tell that too just by the sight of the gravy as far as the color. If you put too much of this in, it makes your gravy very brown. You don't want that. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what this tastes like now. It's surprising how just that little tiny bit will just bring this together. Because of adding that, guess what? We don't need any additional salt. That's why I added that before the salt.
I was just going to ask you about the salt.
It's perfect. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of biscuits, open them up, and we're going to put the gravy on. So let me get the biscuits, and I'll be back, and we'll give it a sample. Well, look at this biscuits and gravy.
Looks great.
Thanks. This is the best part for the taste and being able to taste
test,
it.
Yes.
Yes.
Give me a fork. I'll try it. Taste it from this side.
It is so good, you guys.
Lucy's in pain over there. She wants some too.
Lucy.
You'll get yours later, Lucy.
You can taste the herbs that are in this gravy and the sausage. The sausage is so tender. The biscuits are excellent too. This is delicious, you guys. Nice and creamy. It was worth waiting for. Let me know what you think after you've tried this recipe. And I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have any questions as you're making it, please let me know. And if you've enjoyed this and you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. We would really appreciate it. Give me a like and a comment and a thumbs up. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.